keep it very short for this part because I do have a feature film I want to share. This was a personal thank you to Chris, but he's not here. But my BNI ask was any nonprofits, international, if anyone had a connection last year. And he had a connection, and that's how I got to go to Tanzania to help the Maasai tribe. So this is an example of a video, and I'm just going to show, it's a pretty lengthy video, but I want you guys to see the power of the work that we do. All right. 7 minutes. If you don't mind turning off the lights, that'd be awesome.
My name is Teresia Williams. I am 15 years old. I started here working in 2018 and I was 6 years old. I finished the class 7 last year and I want to go to secondary school, but my family don't have money. In Maasai tribes, if your father says that you are not going to school and they are not able to pay for school fees, they can give you to marriage. I want to go to school, I don't want to get married.
The Maasai culture has not changed for I don't even know how long. They continue to follow their traditions, and some of them are very harsh. They almost date back to the Old Testament, where men had multiple wives because they wanted many children. Sometimes their wives were too old to have children, and so they took a younger wife. Usually when a man is looking for a second or a third or a fourth wife, it's in many cases the child that he is going to marry, and it is a child, is younger than one of his own children. We can have a man who's in his 60s or even 70s choose a girl who's 14 or 15 to be his wife. This is against the law in Tanzania, but because the Maasai live in such a remote area, no one sort of questions what they do. It's heartbreaking.
Sometimes they don't know the husband. They don't know. You are taken to the place where you don't know anyone. Yes. Even if you are 12, they will send you to the husband. The husband is like your grandfather, very old.
My father will receive a dowry of 5 pounds and me to get married.
It's customary throughout most of Africa for fathers to expect a dowry from the man who's going to marry their daughter. But the Maasai take it to a different level. Their girls actually provide them with the next level of wealth in their life, because there's nothing more important to the Maasai than cows.
When the girls married, the father gets cows, 5 kilograms of sugar, 1 crate of soda.
The number of cows usually was a typical dowry, but we've had instances, and since we started the school, we had one girl that her uncle accepted a dowry on her behalf, a case of beer and a case of soda. She was in grade 5 at the time. The mother was a widow. The girl, we sponsored her to go on to secondary school, but now she's in her 3rd year in secondary school, and the mother and the daughter came back. They were both crying in the office, please, please help us. Now the man has come back and he wants to claim me. So we know this is against the law, so we immediately sent her to a safe house until we could figure out where she could go next. And the mother said, do not even tell me where you sent her, because again, this is part of the tradition is this village that someone will beat it out of me. I don't want to know where you're sending my daughter. I just want her to be safe. It's been happening forever. And by education, they can leave the village, which is what our goal is, to get away from the village and go to a boarding school where you can see that life is different. And the girl is safe from being home, where the father will say, well, you know, why are you here? Why am I feeding you when you should be married? I could have more cows. It's sad to think of it that way, but that is the bottom line of what happens.
The life of the Maasai wife is hard because there's many things to do at home. It is better to go to school because there's many opportunities when you get education, because you can be a doctor, you can be a teacher, you can be anyone if you want to study.
There are also the men in the Maasai culture. I see them sitting at home or go out, or sometimes they stay at the shop enjoying life, and the family are suffering. It is like that.
The Maasai traditionally made their simple huts out of cow dung and mud. They would also do their cooking inside these huts, no windows. So the hut has a straw roof filled with carbon monoxide. A typical day would be the sons would have to go out first thing in the morning with the animals. The women and their daughters would go out looking for firewood or to the river to bring home water for the day. This is a daily ritual. And all this time, the men stay in their huts. So consequently, the men suffer from respiratory problems, spending so much time in their huts. And when the man dies, he leaves all these women with no means of support. Imagine that. 4 wives, 50 kids. Everything he owns usually goes to the oldest son. The uncle usually takes over the future of any girls in that family. And so he will marry, that girl off as soon as he possibly can. Widows are on their own. They're seldom taken in by relatives because they're all facing the challenges of poverty at the same time.
We have a work. We first call the widows to participate in the work and earn money.
So we have many widows that we hire. And right now, I don't know what the exact count of widows in our village, but the last count was 120 women who had no means of support, which we try to help in small groups coming to school. And even with our jewelry project, we make hundreds and hundreds of bracelets on any given trip, and then we sell them when we have a fundraiser at home. This is one thing they do really well. I mean, you'll see the Maasai women with beautiful jewelry. They don't have jewelry boxes at home, so they wear everything that they own. This has been a very heartwarming experience for us to be able to help these women in even the small way that we do by providing small jobs for them so they can help their families.
This jewelry project is done by the mamas who are widows. They come and work and pay for the school fees of their children.
Many of the women, especially the widows, want education for their daughters. They want their lives to be different from theirs. They had no choice, but now that there is a school that they can attend, they're very excited about their daughters being educated, so they don't have to go through this really painful, your life is predestined, and we know that is not why we are on this earth, to have someone make these kind of decisions for us.
My hope for these children in our village, especially the girls, after completing education, I think they are going to be higher. And they said that after getting work, we will come back and choose by our own to whom we want to be married.
I want education, but I don't have enough money to go to school, so I will be happy when I get the help from you to support me to get to school. Thank you for your sponsorship because it has helped me to change my life and my children's life.
I'm out of time, but thank you guys so much for watching, but that just shows the power of what we can do, so thank you so much.